If you're struggling to find your illustration style, I've been there. I've been drawing since I was really little. And then I went to art school for college, and I thought for sure this is where I'm going to find my identity as an artist. This is how I'm going to find my style. This is just, where I'm going to become who I'm supposed to be as an artist. It wasn't until my last year, I believe, maybe my junior year, that I started developing a taste for digital illustration. And when I say that, I mean I was doing a lot of vector art. I was teaching myself vector art because I was not in a graphic design program, which is where they were doing that. I was just in like an overarching visual studies program as an art student. So I was doing a lot of vector artwork, which at the time I thought was super good because I was just learning how to do that. It might have also been around the time that I started to draw digitally, or drawing digitally came very quickly after that. I think I was about 21 or 22 years old. And when I really started experimenting with digital drawing, I was at my first corporate job, and I was doing it for fun. I was also doing it because I was on the marketing team for a certain pancake house. And so I was using digital drawing to just enhance their creative and enhance their Instagram at the time. Other than Illustrator and maybe Procreate, I didn't know much about digital drawing. I didn't really know the programs. Even though I was using Procreate, I didn't quite understand how to use it. I was kind of just experimenting. I didn't really understand the layering. I didn't understand the different brushes you could use. There was a lot going on in the program that I was just not using or taking advantage of. So my art pieces, if I want to call them that, were not great. I mean, not great to me, at least. Little by little, as I was experimenting, I started to figure it out. That's why I want to talk to you guys about how I found my style that probably will continue to progress, but I like where we're at right now. I still don't know everything. I barely know anything. Let's be totally honest. I'm still learning constantly. I'm still looking at tools. I'm still watching people. Art is just never, you just never get to the destination. Let's just put it that way. I started to spend time following illustrators on Instagram or on YouTube and watching not only their progress, but how they illustrated, what programs they were using, and just their art styles. And I found that there was a lot of consistency in style with the artists that I would deem were successful illustrators. So I thought it made a lot of sense for me to try to figure out my style. Because I was following so many artists and watching so many artists, I tended to try to draw in that style. And then I would be like, oh, I finally figured it out. And then a few months later, I'd be like, oh, I actually don't even like that. Why did I do that? At one point a few years ago, I started making patterns. They were not legit patterns. And I was selling baby blankets and then using some of those proceeds to go toward the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which I'm still proud that I did. But I was still learning. I was still in the learning process, and I was not making patterns legitimately. I was kind of making them all by hand, and I wasn't making them endlessly repeating. I was just putting them on the blanket how I wanted them and then printing them. But it kind of looked like a pattern. And I put a lot of work into that, and they looked fine. They got better as I continued to practice, but still proud that I did that. And I'm proud that I was able to put myself out there and do something that I loved. My life shifted again when I had my daughter. So, my daughter is almost 2 years old. 5 days after giving birth, I was rushed to the hospital and found out that I had sepsis. I was not in septic shock, but I did have sepsis. So, it was really important for me to get treatment. And I was in the hospital, I believe, for 6 days. During that time, it was very terrifying. But after I came out of it, I really started to understand what I felt like mattered. And I know people say that all the time, like a near death experience will make you feel, But it is so true. And I felt after that that there was legitimately no reason why I couldn't keep pursuing the things that I love to pursue. And so from then on, even though in the first year I couldn't focus too much on my art because I was just so focused on my daughter and just healing my own mental trauma from that experience. But after I got out of that cloud, I decided I really needed to focus on something that I love and what has been the love of my life for my entire life, and that has been art and drawing. So it became really important to me to take my art seriously and really hone in on who I want to be as an artist. And that's why I'm here today to talk to you about how you can find your own personal style. And there's no get rich quick scheme when it comes to finding your art style. It really does develop over time, but I feel like these tips might be useful for you. So if you have any other tips that you want to contribute, definitely leave a comment and I'll try to pick those up as well. Okay, number 1, practice is everything. You don't just like stumble upon your art style. You have to constantly be drawing. And when I say constantly, I don't mean like 24 hours a day, but I mean you have to have some sort of consistency in your art practice. If you're never drawing, you're never going to progress, and that means in your style as well. And that means making a ton of messy stuff. That means maybe you're just sketching, or maybe you're trying to do a new medium, or you're looking at mood boards. There's a lot of things that you can do within the art realm that will help you create your style, but you have to practice. There is no way around practicing unless you're using AI, and even then, AI can't make your style for you. Number 2, explore illustrators and artists, but do not copy them. I had to figure this out myself. I wasn't necessarily like copying artists, but I definitely was taking their styles and trying to make my style like kind of from their style because I liked to look at their art. I think there's a huge difference between liking to look at somebody's art and creating your own art in your own style. If you are looking at someone's art and you're saying, I want to draw just like that, and you never have your own practice of your own style, you will get bored of that very quickly and you will move on to the next thing. You can like to look at somebody's art without wanting to draw like that artist, and that's just the beauty of art. Maybe you look at them because you like their use of color. Maybe you look at them because you like their line work, or you like the way that they use texture or that they don't use texture, right? So you can take inspiration from these artists without necessarily copying them and trying them out in your art so that you can see what works for you and what necessarily doesn't work for you and what comes naturally and what feels good in your art. Number 3, which is kind of what I just said, and that is do what feels right to you. Your style will come from what you're naturally drawn to and even the things that you like to draw. If you're somebody that loves to draw nature, you love flowers, you love backgrounds, that style naturally will just be different from somebody who loves to do portraiture or loves doing character art. Maybe you like certain moods, maybe you love certain color palettes, maybe you're just drawn to certain things to draw. You know naturally what you love to make, and you should be making what you love to make and not what you see other people making. What you see other people making will never be your truth in art. Number 4, choose the medium that feels the most natural. Whether that's digital, whether that's paint, acrylic or oil or watercolor, even if it's charcoal or pastels. Listen, all of these are different mediums of art. You could even be a collage artist. You don't know, but you have to do what feels the most authentic and the most natural to you while you're doing it. If you're doing something every day that feels like a struggle or feels like you have to try so hard to like get yourself to want to do it, let's backtrack and let's let's go back to the drawing board and do what we want to do, because it's so important. Your artwork will shine if you're using the mediums that feel the best to you. Number 5, build a portfolio. And I don't mean put stuff together on a website and pay for a website. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, when you make a piece of art that you're super proud of, put it in a folder, print it out, and have it in a binder, put it on Google Drive, do whatever you feel like you need to put it into something that you can consider your mini portfolio. As you're building your portfolio, you will start to see trends and patterns within your artwork. This will show you what you are starting to develop as an artistic style. But not only will it show you what you're doing, but it'll show you the things that you like about your artwork and the things you don't necessarily like about your artwork, and how you can gear yourself more towards the things you do like and less towards the things that you don't like. Looking at your own art is key to finding your style. And number 6, accept that naturally your style will continue to evolve. I know we don't like to hear that, because we're like, well, Roxanne, you just told me that I can find my style. Now you're telling me that my style will change. I'm not saying that it will completely change, but I'm saying that as you grow as an artist, your style just naturally will evolve. It will change a little bit. You'll become a better artist. I mean, what did I just say is number 1? We have to practice. So your style will evolve, and it's not something that's fixed or something that you arrive at, but something that is just a continuous journey and a continuous path for you to be on. And don't hold that back. Like, if you feel like you want to try something new or that you want to explore more, definitely do that, because all that's going to do is better you as an artist and enhance your style. So if you're feeling like you don't have a style, or maybe you're on your way there, don't stress. It took me years to even get to where I am right now. Think about it. I was a little kid when I started drawing. I'm 29 right now, almost 30. It takes a long, long, long time. And from when I started to really try to hone in on my style, I would say it was a few years till I found what I actually love my art to look like. There's no rushing into finding it. It's just about creating and really letting yourself pour out into your artwork. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you loved it. I'd love to have a conversation in the comments about anything that you feel helped you gain your style, or even your confidence as an artist. If you want to see more videos about illustration and art and my creative journey and possibly art business stuff, if I ever make any money off my art, then follow along. Maybe I could just be your cozy artist best friend and we can just chat and make art together. And on that note, I'm going to let you draw with me as I draw my next piece. Bye, guys.